Hi, everybody, my fellow newbie comedians and performers of all types, and people who are just high on life or wanna be. Um, I'm going to cover this is my 10th video. So, as a new channel, I am very excited about that. So what I'm going to be doing today is basically, celebrating. Yeah, I wanted to get some party favors, but I forgot. I wanted to like just do stupid stuff and have fun, but maybe for the 20th. But I'm going to be talking a little bit today about. I don't have like a specific comedy thing to talk about today, although something will probably come up. Because that's just how I am. I'm kind of random. But I am going to be talking about. I want to talk a little bit about the channel and the future of the channel and just be really transparent with you guys about a few things. And also, I'm going to talk about myself a little bit because I feel like the people who show up here kind of deserve to know a little bit about the person that they're showing up for. So I want to show up for you guys in the same way that you guys are showing up for me. So yay, celebration! I'm really excited because I feel like has kind of become a habit and it's going to keep going and all those good things. I do want to take a little pause. Although this channel is meant to be something that is I want it to be educational. I want it to be uplifting and positive and all the good things. And I want it to be fun. I got into this because it was fun. I do want to take a moment just to speak a little bit about the events that are going on right now, though, and to tell you guys this is very um, our worldwide crisis. Um, it has to do with your purpose in life. If you're a comedian right now, the world needs you more than probably it has in a long, long time. One of our jobs, you know, we have a very important job that we do. We make people laugh. It's a healing process. We help people heal through laughter. And if you're thinking about getting back out there on stage, it's a great time to just kind of put aside your fears and thinking about yourself and just think about your future audience and how much they need you, and think about all the people in your life, not necessarily just in your life, but all the people whose work you enjoy that have inspired you, that have gotten you through things. We all have that song or that book, or maybe if you're like me, a bunch of things and a bunch of people that maybe don't even know, that they helped get us through some hard times. And even though this is kind of, a dream of yours, um, it's not just for you, it's for them too, because there's going to be something about you. There's going to be something that you say that touches someone in a way that you will probably never know and certainly can't imagine. Someone's going to discover your work that is just, it blows up something inside of them, lights something up. So not only do you owe it to yourself to pursue whatever it is you're thinking of pursuing, that your heart is calling you toward, not only do you owe it to yourself to do that, but you owe it to them to do that too, because they need you. The world needs us right now. The world needs to laugh a little bit. Um, so what we're doing, I just want to, even though this is fun, it's meant to be fun. Fun is a very important part of life. Fun keeps you around longer, to be honest with you. Fun is healing, and fun is very connected. Having fun with someone is a way to express love toward that person and toward yourself as well. So what we're doing here is very important, especially now. So that done. And by the way, we've got this. We've got this. We're going to handle this, and we're going to help you and me and all of our, fellow tribe of performers out there that are helping to make the world something worth saving. So that's my spiel on that. Let's get going on today's events. I did mention transparency. My hope for this channel is that it blows the heck up, and I know it's like a big thing with people, but I would like to in the future. I do plan to have ads and things like that in the future. I'm going to try and keep everything relevant. I would like to have things that speak to the people who are watching my show. But the whole point of that is to empower me even more to be able to offer even more content, even more awesomeness. Hopefully, what you're getting here is awesomeness. I think it is. Um, but the more I'm able to offer, the better things are. So I'll look for a balance there. I'll look for a balance, but that is in probably the distant future. But that is something that I'm considering, and I wanted you guys to know that. I didn't want to spring that on you at some point, like, hey, buy a thing. But that is going to hopefully happen in the future. So I just wanted you guys to know that. Um, da 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 da. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I know I've touched on it before, but why I'm doing this. Why for starting this channel. Oh, did I say what it was called? It's called Rhonda Lee Jones Comedy Lab. It comes up as Rhonda Jones Comedy Lab because I was kind of not thinking clearly when I made it, so I'm going to try and change that name, on the channel itself. But Rhonda Jones Comedy Lab, or Rhonda Lee Jones Comedy Lab, where I share my comedic experiments with you. So because I do think of it as an experiment, it keeps it more fun that way. And helps keep me from freaking myself out, as performers have a tendency to do. But I wanted to talk about one of the reasons that I want to do this is to, of course, encourage you to do your thing as well. And it also, speaking to you every week, helps me keep my own stuff sort of organized. So I'll know, so I'll have a direction so that I can kind of help give you a direction. And I like for I like to be able to bring up stuff as it's relevant in my life to give it a little bit more urgency, and so that I'll offer better content, honestly. So that is something, and I want to create community here. I want this to be a place where we can all come, and sharing would be great. Yeah, I want a sense of community, and in order to do that, I'm probably going to add some other social media stuff to this whole experience. So that's something for the future. I want us to be able to talk to each other and to share our experiences and to encourage each other and to really have each other's backs as performers, because we all need to be out there, even if you don't like what someone else is doing, or they have a very different style from yours. You know that it's all part of the conversation. We're part of the great conversation that we human beings are having. And these days, living in the future as we do, I think of us as the people of the future. This is our campfire. The internet. This is a way that we can gather our big ass tribe together and have some discussion and create more energy than just one person can create by themselves. So that's one big reason that I'm doing this. I want. I often say I want to be the Bob Ross of comedy. I want you to see that. I want you to see sort of the ups and downs and all the things that happen when you do something that might be a little bit scary, like go out and get up on stage and share your vulnerabilities and put your best work out there, and you see it flop sometimes, and then just make it better, because the flopping isn't a bad thing. It's part of the process. Just don't worry about it. Just do it. Okay, so as I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got to this point. I am a new comic. I've been doing it for less than a year, but it took a lot of changes in my life for me to get to this point where I am now. I did look at my life at one point and say, I'm not happy with this. I want to change it. And changing it was big and scary and very anxiety producing. Oh my God, so many things. But I did it anyway. And that's just something you can overcome, that fear. There's still fear, but I'm used to overcoming it now. So it's there with me. It's not an enemy. It's actually something that can enable you to do better work. So treat it as a friend and not as an enemy. Even though things do get really hard sometimes, especially in the beginning, especially if you're looking at big changes in your life or things that feel like big changes. That can be pretty doggone scary. But just know that you can get through this. You're a badass. You can do it. This is a channel for badasses, y'all. Even if you're scared, badass. I'm a scared badass. I have moments because I face my fears and I go out there and I do it. So I let myself be afraid and I let myself enjoy it as much as possible. So I mean, you can do that too. You just do it. Just do it. Nike's right. Just do it. Part of part of who I am is I also have aspirations to be a coach for creative people. Um, Not teaching them their craft. I don't want to be a craft teacher, but showing them it's very life coachy. Giving tools, providing tools that help deal with things like overwhelm. We get overwhelmed, we get afraid, we don't do things because we don't know how. We don't know where to start, and sometimes we need somebody to kind of stay on us a little bit about it and to make sure to somebody to see us, somebody to be in our corner with us, hold our hand, maybe figuratively. But that's something that it really, you know, appeals to me. And as a fellow creative, I plan, when I start a coaching practice, I'm going to be working with other creatives largely, or entrepreneurs and people like that. So that's part of who I am. I do have a teaching urge. I used to think I was going to grow up and be a teacher. That didn't happen. I grew up and became a journalist, actually. So I didn't see that coming. I have an English degree, literature track. So so I accidentally became a journalist for 11 years in my town in Augusta, Georgia, and I had some of the most amazing experiences of my life at that job. So some of the things that you will hear me say, or some of the things that I will plan to do actually are a direct result of having had that experience in my life. Like, one thing I want to do on this channel eventually is I want to bring in other performers and interview them for you, so that you can see sort of their processes, their how they work as well, and you can learn from them, and I can learn from them. So I that's something that I always enjoyed when I was a journalist. I loved being able to ask people questions and getting to know them as as a creative person, and talk about their processes, and that enriched my life so much. So I want to bring that to you at some point, so that sort of thing can, enrich your life too. And these will be, real people people I know and love, and people that I see perform. And part of my why for doing that is I just want to be nosy. I want to ask them, how they do what they do. I want to learn from them. And that was a fun thing about being a journalist. I just got to ask all kinds of questions. I get to be nosy, and we're going to do that here. It's going to be fun. So, and hopefully it will help them too. It will help them get exposure, and it will help them. Um, it will just, I think it's helpful for everyone involved. So, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Um, da, 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 da. Oh, and when I do start having ads and things like that, it's not gonna be sell, sell, sell all the time. I'm gonna, purpose, one of the purposes of this channel is to offer great free content. It helps me to do it, honestly. I'm getting payoff in doing that. So, there's going to be, and I know I mentioned tools before. It, eventually I will have tools that I can send to you, that just free stuff, that because I will make a tool in a heartbeat. If I have a need, I can make a tool. I can just pull a tool out of the air. I just did that for myself today in trying to get organized with something, and it worked beautifully. So that's something that I want to make available for other people. Things that I've created that have helped me. So eventually I'm going to be organized enough to be able to do that. You will see technical improvements. Some of you are going, thank God she's going to use the thing I told her to use. But yeah, I want this to be technically better. I want it to look better and be all the things in the future. So that is a direction I'm going to go in. Not sure exactly what my plans are on that yet, but yeah. So that is part of the future. Sorry, my allergies have been like crazy, so my voice is not at its best, maybe. And plus, yeah, I had a performance last night too. That's another thing. I'm gonna tell you now about just some things about me, in case you're curious. One thing that is very relevant is I had a performance last night with a I just took an 8 week improvisational acting class, and for our graduation celebration we had a friends and family performance last night, and it was great. There were like 12 of us in the class, so it was like a huge ensemble. But our teachers, Marty Mappus and Michael Silvio Fortino, both awesome at improv. They taught us a lot, and of course, we got more out of the class than just the acting skills. It was just they helped to create an experience for us, and we helped to create an experience for each other, and we bonded. And now I'm sad that it's over, but we're gonna stay in touch because this is just a wacky, wonderful group of people that I met, and it was so much fun. And we even had a party and practiced and just hung out, and we're very funny together. So it's just been a special time. So that's something about me. I enjoy improvisational theater, and it's something that I'm investing myself in learning because I feel like, well, improv just kind of helps you. It helps you in life. Maybe I'll talk about that at some point. I know this is about stand up comedy, and some people think that the two should stay separate, but I don't subscribe to that. I think that they they can feed off of each other. They're different things. They feel different. They're different animals, but they can definitely help help you. You know, if you have both of those in your life, I think that one can support the other in a very nurturing sort of way, and just become more than the sum of the parts kind of thing. So yeah, so that's something I'm investing myself in learning as well. Um, Other things, I'm a journalist. I was a journalist. I'm not a journalist anymore. That was a good long time ago. Um, da, 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 da. Oh, about the coaching thing. I have been involved in coaching programs as a learner myself, and that's why I love it. And that's why I want to help other creatives do their thing. But but yeah, and that's for, and that's for people who really want to they want to really go to a whole nother level. So we're on inspirational level here. I just really hope to inspire you to do your thing. Um, oh, I'm a big fan of Brene Brown. Freaking check her out. She will improve your life so much. She is a researcher. Neen should have done the research first. She is a researcher in Austin, Texas, at a school, and I can. It's probably a big one that I should be able to pull out of the air. But anyway, she is. Check her out on YouTube. She's funny. She's not a comedian, but she is a storyteller and a researcher. She tells stories about her research. That sounds really strange, but it works, believe me. But she's just a naturally funny person that comes across in her talks. Check out her TED Talks. She will improve your life a million times over. She talks about, she's about, okay, if you have to sum her up, she's about human connection, about creating connections, which is something we do here with comedy. That's creating a connection with each other and with our audience. She's all about creating connections. She's like, her field is it's like social work type research. So she's all about learning. She researched the things that stand in the way of creating those connections with each other, and she offers really helpful um, insight on how to overcome those things. Things like shame. We sometimes don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable for each other because, I mean, you can't have intimacy, you can't have connection without vulnerability, and we put a wall up because of shame. There are things I've talked about here that I could be, if I were in shame about those things and I wasn't able to share them with you, that would be a shame. So she talks about those things because sometimes we don't think about them, and it's kind of hard to solve problems that you don't bring into the light. So and she's just entertaining as heck. So check her out. I'm a big fan of her. Love her. Yes, I have an English degree, as I told you, literature track. I love stories. Yeah, I approach comedy as a storyteller, because stories stories have, oh my gosh, stories have taught me so much. The stories that I love, and I'm talking about silly stuff. I'm talking about just all of it. Um, Stories have really kind of taught me how to live. I learn from characters. I learn from stories. I learn. Oh my goodness, there's and that's the reason we have stories. The original stories that existed, in early people were specifically created to teach the young people coming up how to live, how to deal with problems that came up in their life, how to deal with challenges. And honestly, the best stories today do the same thing. Um, I love Joseph Campbell's work on the power of myth, and there's a connection between his work and honestly and Star Wars, because as I understand it, George Lucas wanted to make sort of a modern myth for us that followed that process that Joseph Campbell sort of outlines in the hero's journey. He did a Okay. I know that a lot of people talk stuff about George Lucas, but we have that because of his vision. We have that because of his vision. So I'm very grateful to him for that. Um, Another thing about me is I freaking love virtual reality. I've been playing VR almost nonstop since I got a headset. And I've become quite the Darth Vader fan because I've been playing Vader Immortal. And the reason for that, well, there are many reasons for that, but we won't go into all of them. But one reason for that is that he's a much more complex character than I ever imagined him to be, and that really appeals to that English major side of my brain. So he's kind of reactivated my degree a little bit because I'm at a point where I'm just delving in. I'm doing a lot of character research for no reason other than I want to know more about this guy because he's so very important to us in our times. He's become such an icon, and I just wanna know him. I want to know more about him. I want to get to know the guy because he was such an iconic figure of my childhood. So yeah, um, me, English degree nerd stuff. Um, I Okay. Here's a thing about me. I need to adjust this because it's driving me crazy. I do believe in the power of thought. Oprah Winfrey has said that thoughts are things, and she didn't make that up. That was she. There's a little thing called law of attraction that I wholeheartedly subscribe to. We bring things into our lives. The things on the inside of our brains are going to manifest on the outside of our brains. So if we can learn to sort of, manage our emotions and manage our thinking and use it instead of being run by it, then we can bring about some pretty cool things in our lives. And that's what, um, I mean, when you talk about your art, your comedy, you're talking about manifesting something from your heart and from your mind into your physical world. So that's very important. Like attracts like. The stuff you think about often, you're going to get more of. Try it and see. And it sounds like a bunch of voodoo, but that's all it is. The stuff you think about is the stuff you wind up getting for yourself. That's just the way our minds work. Because everything you can imagine is in front of you. All of it's in front of you. Um, this You just may not be seeing some of it when you think about it. When you start thinking about red cars, think about a red car, and I promise you will see red cars everywhere the next time you go driving. So life works like that. What you think about kind of comes to you. So if you can keep it on a positive note, you'll have more positive experiences. It's just a proven thing. I'm sure somebody proved it somewhere. I'm going to stick by that. Um, and I have funny stories about that, which I may share with you. My funny little manifestation stories, some pretty interesting stuff has happened to me. And one thing that one law of attraction thing that happened to me, which is very funny. I think it's funny. I think it's great. I occasionally I'll have dreams where I have telekinesis, the power of telekinesis, which means I can reach for something and bring something into my hand with my mind. It's like the Harry Potter thing almost. It's like you just reach for it and it comes to you, and you do that with your mind. And that is my chosen superpower. If I had superpowers, I would say I would want that because I have these dreams and it's so much fun. And I have these dreams every now and then. And I thought, God, I'm going to figure out how to do that at some point. Well, guess what? Vader Immortal gives you the power to do that. So in a way, I kind of manifested that. You can do that in the game. You get those little fun Jedi powers of making stuff come to your hand. So yay! That's a little something. With with the law of attraction and manifestation, it doesn't always take the form that you think it's going to, but it's more about the spirit of the thing. It's more about you're going to attract more of stuff that feels like that. It might not be that exact thing, but it's going to be something that feels like that. So that's a very important thing to know. And the reason I'm bringing that up is that as creatives, we use that all the time. And it's a skill that is worth developing as a creative to just make use of your thoughts, because that's where your power of creativity comes from. So that's my little spiel on that. So that's just a way that I think. It's just something interesting about me. I hope it's interesting. My job, I drive for a living. I work for an auto shop, and I test drive vehicles that we work on for a living. So I've driven many different. I drive almost everything that comes into the shop, so I can drive just about anything that they can throw at me. So that's a fun thing. The reason that sort of fits in with what I'm talking about and my personality and such is that it's a very it feels very adventurous to me. I don't stay in an office. I'm out and about a lot, and I'm in traffic a lot, which is an adventure on its own. Let me tell you. Um, so my defensive driving skills are like Jedi level. Don't even get me started on that. But so that's something I do, and it fits with who I am, because even though I have a sort of a more white collar background, it fits with who I am because I am an adventurer and I'm curious. Ooh, I was going to bring that up later, but I get to provide some customer service on my job because one thing I do is I shuttle customers. Um, I'll take them home. I'm part of a shuttle service that we have. So, and I get to myself in the car and I get to know this person. I get to spend some quality time with this person. Sometimes I've never met them. Sometimes they're a returning customer. Often they're returning customers. We have a lot of returning customers. So there. But no, it's fun. It's fun. It's fascinating. It's one of the most fun parts of my job. Also, I've learned a lot about vehicles. I just you kind of grab that knowledge as you go. So yeah, it fits in with the adventurer part of my personality and the part of me that's like super curious about literally everything. I don't have time enough on this planet to indulge all the curiosity that I have. And I'm going to say more about that when I get to it on my list. Oh no, it's the next thing on my list. The most important thing about me it is that I practice curiosity, and that is practicing curiosity is the number one most important thing you can do for yourself. Hands down, bar none. It's the most important thing that you can do to ensure that you have a happy life. It's the most important thing that you can do, and I'm going to tell you why. Um, Curiosity is the basis for every good thing in your life. Um, I know that there are people out there going, but love, you can't you can't properly love someone without being curious about them. You have to be present in your mind for that person. You have to be curious about them. Um, you have to be, and curiosity makes you open to experience. The opposite of curiosity is it's putting up a wall. Curiosity requires that there be no wall. And that's whether you're curious about another person. Just think about how awesome it is when you meet someone and you just want to know everything about them and they want to know everything about you. I mean, doesn't it feel good for someone to want to know things about you? That's curiosity. And we when we love someone and we practice curiosity around that, it's a great way to help them feel like you see them and there's nothing on this earth that's like being seen. That really helps someone feel loved. So yeah, this is a far cry from talking about comedy, I know, but I just really want to put myself out there, let you know who you're dealing with here, who you're dealing with. It's just who I am and where my material comes from. It comes from all these places. I'm a spiritual person, in that I I embrace a lot of faiths. My family, I grew up Southern Baptist, and my my dad's Southern Baptist, and my mom Pentecostal holiness. So I get so I've got quite a mix there. So the odds, given that the odds that I was going to explore things like Buddhism and the law of attraction and all those good things were like zero to none. I mean, but that's the kind of person I am. I embrace all of that. Um, I embrace all of it. I think it's all good. So that's a bit of who I am. I think that life is a wonderful mystery and I don't need to know it. I'm curious, but it's like I don't need to have a definitive answer for every single thing. The journey is the thing. As long as you're heading in a direction, you're good. And that's what I want you to know about your ow, my leg went to sleep. How my leg is asleep. That's something very important for you to know about me right now. Ow. So if I grimace, that's why. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's just something that's important, I think. I try to embrace all of life, even the stuff that's going on right now is a part of just everything. It's just part of life. It's something that can be used for your material. It's something that is going to help you grow. It's something that um, can bring us closer together as a world. Um, so that's just something very, very important. I keep saying this, very important, very important. I'm running out of stuff now, I think, is why I'm slowing down a little bit. But yeah, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts about how I want to hear. You know what I want to hear? You know what I'm curious about when it comes to you guys? I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what your art form is or your creative outlet, whether it's or whether it's even if it's more than one thing. If your creative outlet is your business, I think entrepreneurialism is a very creative thing to do. There's a lot of moving parts in a business. That is a way to express, having a business is a way to express your creativity and your love and to provide a service for the world because we're all here to provide, a service for the world. It just, depends on who we are, depends on what it is, depends on who we are. And so, I want to know what you guys are making, what you guys are creating for the world. I want to know what your hopes and dreams are, and I want to know your why, why, your deep down why of, the reason that you're doing it. You might not even know what that is yet, but I guarantee you, once you do some delving into your why, your big why, my big why, okay, I'll tell you mine. I don't know if I've told you mine before. My big why, the reason that I got into comedy and the reason that I'm doing this channel, the big reason, the overarching of everything reason is I just want to play. I'm like a little kid inside and I just want to play. And comedy looks like play. Like even my job, many days, it feels like play. I was put here to play. And that is honestly the reason that I do everything. I want to connect with other people so I will have someone to play with. It's all about playing for me, but playing as a sacred act, playing as something that brings us together and gives us that feeling that we were meant to have. So that's what play is to me, and that's why honestly everything I do in life, it goes back to I just want to play. I just want to be here and enjoy you guys and have you guys enjoy me and just be together as opposed to apart. So that's my big why. And yeah, I had to do some digging to figure that out, but that informs everything else I do. Now that I know why, sort of who I am on that deep level, it helps me be clear on everything that I do. I can always go back to that when I need some clarity. And being clear is important because there are a lot of things out there that you can get into, and you don't need to there isn't time to do them all. And you need to have some clarity and sort of shoot straight a little bit so that you'll just have the time and energy for the things that are truly the things and the people that are truly important to you in your life. So, um, knowing why you do things um, just will help you pick and choose the things that you do, honestly. So, and that's clarity is like one of the most useful things you will ever have in your life. Believe me, it will keep you from being overwhelmed. It will um, help you not get to a point where, or if you get to that point, it'll help you backtrack and figure out where you need to go. So that's your compass. Your why is your compass in life. So that's really all I have for you today. I just wanted to touch base and really sort of have a talk with you about where we've been and where we're going. Next week, I'm going to come back with some more comedy stuff, I promise. Um, I'm super interested in keeping everything relatable for the audience. How do you keep your material relatable? So that's something that I'm searching for. I'm looking into right now. So I'm going to share my findings with you, and and I'm interested in hearing anything that you guys have to say about that as well. I want to hear from you guys. I want to see where your thoughts are and what you're doing or what you hope to do. Maybe you haven't started yet. Maybe you're just in the stages of getting excited about it. What excites you? What lights you up? I am very, what do you think? What do you think is funny? What is funny to you? Um, what is comedy for you? Because it's different. It's different for everybody. So okay, I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you guys for showing up for me today, and go out there and show up for yourselves, definitely. And don't forget to subscribe and share and all those good things, and put on your alerts because as you can see, I'm a little late doing this today. So you might, if you enjoy these, you might want to know when I pop one out there. That was not how I meant to say that. Okay. But thank you guys for showing up. And have a good weekend. Be safe. Have fun. And love you. Bye bye. Until next week.